Early this spring, San Francisco's fashion industry came to party, celebrating local designers taking over the runway. But to really understand what a night like this means for the city of San Francisco, 7 years ago, fashion designer Joy Fan moved to San Francisco to launch a clothing line. But when she began asking locals how to manufacture clothes in the city, the response was discouraging.
It was just as though everyone talked about it like it was the past, as though it could never be done again.
If the mood seemed glum, it was because Fan returned the same year that the city's apparel industry took a devastating blow. Once one of San Francisco's largest sectors, the garment industry was now in rapid decline as cheaper Asian-made goods flooded the market. Between 1990 and 2005, the industry dropped from 30,000 to 3,500 workers.
I was always hitting this wall towards my dream not being a possibility based on my choice of moving to San Francisco, and then absolutely fighting with that. I know this is where so many creative people are, so how do I create it so that I can manufacture and design and produce in the city that I love?
Fan began making her own clothes, first on her own and then with the help of a former factory pattern maker who was looking for work.
Oh, yes. I feel like it's my responsibility as a designer to bring back the jobs that were completely, scattered and lost, and that's exciting to me.
Take, for example, the design students at San Francisco State.
They are the people that are graduating right now and are really interested in saying, I want to produce this. What do I need to do to make this happen?
Dr. Connie Ulasewicz spent years producing her own apparel line before becoming a design instructor.
So what's happening now in the Bay Area is that there is a resurgence of more local manufactured goods. One of the reasons for that is basically the charge of gasoline prices now. So if you're manufacturing offshore, you have to ship it in, which is much more expensive than if you're producing it in this country.
A recent study concluded that by 2015, the cost advantage of producing clothes in China will drop to 10%.
In places like Singapore and in China, because their cost of living has increased, the people, the wages that they're getting paid are not as inexpensive as they were before. Therefore, the cost of goods for people that are importing from there, they have gone up. The real challenge that people are facing is who is going to be the next sewer.
The younger people, if they got good education, if they went to school, went to college, after they come out, they don't want to be a sewing girl, or they don't want to be a cutter. We're still struggling, to get more customers, If we don't have enough work for them, maybe, 3 days a week, then they have to look for another job somewhere else. They cannot survive.
Hoping to boost the city's apparel industry? City Hall. San Francisco has a new initiative called Fashion SF, and its first step is to get everyone talking.
We have a survey happening right now where we're talking to all of the manufacturers that are here in the city and figuring out what is it that they need. The other piece to that is we'll be speaking with a lot of the designers to kind of figure out, well, what are the steps that they need.
The city has put together a working group that includes designers, manufacturers, and educational programs that will use this data to look for potential partnerships. They also hope to boost the allure of the industry by
creating kind of a sexy element to manufacturing again, by kind of bridging the gap between the young designers and the people that we need to build our workforce, and we can create a lot of jobs.
So I created this fashion show because I strongly believe that there has to be a sense of consciousness for designers to be able to bridge together some sort of community. Everyone sees what a design looks like on a runway, but I have a real sense of all the different people who had touched that garment. Every person who touches it counts, and every person who looks at it, whether it be the pattern maker or the sewer or the buyer, whomever is really who touches this piece, there's a story behind it.